talk for. You know, it happens all the time. I get emails, I get texts, I get, and there's some preconception that if you're doing any kind of meditation or spiritual work, there's not going to be, difficulty, chaos inside, changes, things that make different kinds of demands on you. But it always happens. And when you do deep meditation practice, you fulfill cycles in yourself. It means letting go. And when you have to let go, it always represents difficulty. It's like stepping into a void. You have the feeling like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life in this void. Well, it's not the truth. What it is change, deep, profound inner change. That change will initially create chaos, but the continuance of deep inner work gives you the ability to move from one cycle of your life to another. In the Bible, the dark night of the soul, they call it, it's something that is throughout all of history that people have gone through this in order to come to terms with this need inside themselves to truly commit to a spiritual life and become one with God. It means letting go. And ultimately, it means truly letting go of everything, everything. Now, letting go of everything doesn't mean we go out and live under a tree in a forest, What it means is we have to slowly, incrementally detach ourselves from all of these different things that we are attached to. And not being attached to them doesn't mean we can't enjoy them. All it means is they don't have us. They're not sucking our lives out of us. They're not destroying us. They're not taking our lives away from us. We're not substituting money and relationships for God. Money and relationships and many other gifts that we're given are gifts. And we have to be grateful for them and be full of joy and happiness and the willingness to live with them and enjoy them, but at the same time, not be trapped by them. Because everything in this life is transitory. It all comes and it goes. We all come and go. As I famously say all the time, nobody's alive here from the 17th century. We all come and go. But in that period of coming until we go, the soul has an opportunity to build a profound and deep connection with higher energy in the universe and to truly get closer and closer to a state of enlightenment. We're given life for that purpose, although we spend it on absurdity, But that's the purpose of why we come here and why we're given life. To learn how to build a system inside that is truly one with a higher force of energy in the universe. And one of the things that, the soul has to overcome is this endless problem of suffering, of difficulty, and this whole consciousness of why me? Why am I going through this? Why do I have to suffer this way? Well, the point of the fact is everybody suffers. Everybody is going through some kind of, trauma in their life, some kind of difficulty in their life. And the whole clue is letting go. Learning how to build an inner life, understand, that is strong enough to do two things: to live in this world, to find joy and love in this world, beauty in this world, truth in this world, work out our karma, and at the same time to be connected to a higher force of energy in the universe. This process goes on at exactly the same time. And it needs to be developed in a human being, and it's why people have meditation and religion and all kinds of spiritual practices that is supposed to teach them how to live in the world happily with love, joy, to find that life itself is sacred and be connected to a higher force of energy in the universe. So if you're going through difficult things, it's part of the process. It's part of, it's telling you that you are growing. It's telling you that something in you is changing and you really need to let go. Let the universe, let God, Spirit, let it guide your life into the next level of learning that you have to learn while you're living here, in this incarnation. So we'll have meditation, and afterwards, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them. Does anyone have a question? Does anyone have a question? I have a question. Does anyone have a question?
I have a question.
Oh, good.
How do I talk to the part of myself that I know is uh, off kilter, that is not in alignment? How do I talk to myself in a good way?
Well, you don't have to talk to yourself, Paul. You don't have to convince yourself to be in alignment. You just have to, do the work on yourself that is essential to build the chakra system that allows you to get into alignment. It's not a conversation you have with yourself, because you'll never convince yourself or be able to do it that way. But as I say all the time, slowly, steadily, incrementally, you work on yourself to build a chakra system that allows you to, you're never going to be perfect. As long as we're living on this planet, we're never going to be perfect. And even if we go to Mars or the moon, or well, human beings will never be perfect. But part of the goal is to get closer and closer to that perfection. Because with getting closer and closer, you gain alignment, you get balance, you get harmony, you get inner peace, you get wisdom, you get knowledge. You begin to see what's real in life and what's an illusion. And you don't have to have conversations with yourself anymore. You just live that way. But it's a slow unfolding of one's inner life that gets us there. And, and you have to have a goal. What is the goal? I mean, the goal is spiritual enlightenment. You will do whatever it takes to attain a state of spiritual enlightenment. That's the goal. And if you make that decision and decide and do that and have that vision in your life, understand it will bring about alignment. It'll bring about wisdom. It'll bring about knowledge. You'll begin to discern between what's real in the world and what's an illusion. And you won't have to have conversations with yourself. Those conversations with yourself just go on in your head. That's not a terribly good place to have a conversation. So my only suggestion and answer to a question like that is you have patience. You truly have a vision of why you are here, why you were born, what you're doing in this meditation class, what you're doing with the rest of your day. And in that vision, understand, you will do what is necessary in order to attain it. And you'll have patience with yourself because, understand, perfection is not something human beings can ever attain. And imperfection, as I hate to say it, but it's true, it's really part of perfection. Without imperfection, we never do a damn thing about ourselves. I mean that. It's just a constant reminder when something's wrong, and it's a constant reminder that, well, Rudy said it in his wonderful New Yorkese, you either suffer consciously or you suffer like a schmuck. One way or the other, you're going to suffer in this life. So you might as well learn how to do it consciously and use it to get closer to God in a spiritual life without having conversations with yourself, just doing the work you have to do. Any conversation I've ever had with myself has always thrown me for a loop. I always wound up with more tension than I started out with. So I decided years ago, no, I have to listen to that inner voice and allow it to guide me. Listen to that part of me that's connected to spirit and allow it to guide me. Because one way or another, every human being is going to suffer. Have you ever met anybody who doesn't go through it in one way? I've never met anybody. I mean, you might know somebody. I've never met anybody who has one thing or another thing or. So it was really, I love it. I'll never forget when he said that. You either suffer consciously or you suffer like a schmuck. And if you have conscious suffering, then you use the suffering to get closer to God. It's a reminder you haven't arrived yet. You're not in alignment yet. You're not perfect yet. Grow inside. And it's part of the perfection, suffering. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's part of the perfection of the universe. We are given this thing called suffering, and everybody does it. And it just depends upon how we use it. I hope that's clear. I mean, most people, they are aligned with themselves. They just do crazy things to mess it up. That's all. I mean, really, instead of staying centered in the chakra below the navel, they spend all their time in the head, driving themselves crazy. Instead of opening the heart, they're bitching and complaining about everyone and everything. Now you can really bitch. I mean, man, you used to read the newspaper as just kind of a leisurely thing. Now it's like a nightmare. What's going on in this world? It's really a freaking nightmare. So what am I going to do? Let myself get swept away in all this madness that's going on? Or I'm going to say, no, this is not how I want to live. I want to be connected to God. I want joy in my life. I mean, I've never seen the president of this country ever smile. I've never seen the guy smile, unless he was, beating somebody up, doing something terrible to somebody else. So am I going to get caught in all that drama and madness, which I can't do anything about? Or am I going to say, no, this is reminding me of why I'm born, to be happy, to have joy, to have love, to laugh, to turn difficult situations into funny situations that I can laugh at. Much better way to live, I think. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm not right about everything. I hope I'm wrong in a lot of cases. Give me something to learn. Does anyone else have a question they like to ask? So if you ever find yourself complaining, okay, about anything, oh, I got this, I got that, just put a big sign on your mirror. You suffer consciously or you suffer like a schmuck. And remind yourself why you're here and what you have to do about it, to work on yourself, to turn it into laughter, to joy, to happiness, to, higher levels of humanity. Does anyone else have a question? And just to finish this, just remind yourself you are in alignment with God. So stop messing it up. Put that on your mirror also. You are in alignment with God. Stop messing it up. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, there'll be meditation on Wednesday. Thank you. God bless you all. Let me just, this is probably the hardest month of my life. This month between Rudy's birthday and Samadhi. I'm telling you, I have no choice but, but to truly work very deeply in myself to change. Because it really is. The energy is so freaking strong. I mean, I just can't do anything. It's so strong. But I know when I come out of this, come March and April, I mean, winter's going to become spring. And a lot of things are going to come into fruition. A lot of changes take place. It's going to be very important. So thank you all. God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart.